Padres fans, we've got aging superstars, and I think there might be a way for us to revive this offense and get things going again. Let's talk about it all in this episode of Padres Digest. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Christian Pedersen, one of the two hosts du jour here. We've reached, there is still, I see ESPN updates about something happening still baseball-wise. I don't care about it. We've reached the next phase of our existence as Padres fans, which is miserably suffering in the offseason playing fantasy GM. I want to talk about this, and I want to hear from you guys, so drop a comment on everything this video related that you want to talk about. Also, if there's anything else you want to see a video on, you can drop about that. And look, I always say it because it's the obligatory YouTube thing I got to do, but if you want to hit the subscribe button, I'd be okay with it. I'm not going to say no. Speaking of not going to say no, I'm not going to say no to this idea. And we can all throw this out there, and I should probably, I always apologize to those of you watching this on a phone. The text does get a little small. I'm going to read this for you. According to my sources per this tweet, the great Manny Ramirez, who left his mark, a ton of home runs, the TLDR is that Manny Ramirez is interested in getting involved in an MLB organization and being a hitting coach. Okay, the first question, just to everybody, point blank. Do you like Manny Ramirez, and would you like him as part of your team? I get that doing and coaching, not the same things. Barry Bonds was a hitting assistant coach, whatever, for the Marlins. They remained the Marlins. Now, that could also be said that all their players' necks and heads didn't grow to abnormal human sizes, and so maybe Barry didn't give them the full coaching. Not my place entirely to say. Manny has also had his steroid issues. So look, I get that this guy is his own little microcosm of all sorts of stuff going on. But at the core of it, Manny Ramirez still fundamentally was a great power hitter. Was a guy who understood all of the launch angle, lift, velocity, whatever you want to subscribe to as being like the thing that makes power hitters versus contact. Manny had it in droves. Let's look at the Padres numbers over the seasons, and let's start with some of the good news. Is that ultimately we're going to run through some MLB rankings here. This is the batting average rankings from the season. And I know that some people we might not have Arraez and O'Hearn, and I can show you let's get through the stats, and then I'll show you maybe that there are some players leaving and going. But core, fundamentally, because this is comprised of Merrill, Bogaerts, Tatis, Machado, Cronenworth. This is a fair amount of the dudes who are the core of this team. So this team, we are one slot behind the Dodgers in terms of batting average. So that's good. I don't hate that. Padres move up a ranking to number 3 overall in terms of number of Ks. So the Royals had the least amount of Ks. Padres had the 3rd lowest number of strikeouts as an offense. So as a core, this is a team that gets on base, a team that doesn't strike out. And you're probably saying to yourself, man, that's a really good team. This is a team that knows how to hit the damn ball. Then you get to this number. Padres are the 3rd worst home runs. This is not Petco Park being a hitter's park, especially given that we play a fair amount of games at Coors. I would assume that kind of buoys it and averages it out. So Padres last season were a good team. They were not a great or elite team, but they were a team that when you look kind of breaking down the numbers, they were able to get guys on. They weren't striking out a ton. So you would think that while it will probably mean that they led to a fair amount of ground ball double plays per Xander Bogaerts' first half of the season, it also meant that the Padres were not having wasteful outs. The Padres were being productive, and yet the Padres struggled so bad to score runs all year. And I bring that back to it can't entirely just be coaching, but I also don't see at that point when you're if this was the Padres were top 10 in everything, but they were 14th in home runs. Like, okay, that's more of, Arraez doesn't hit for power, but he's on base a ton, and we got, for me, like, maybe we don't got a ton of guys that are, like, mashing the ball. But being up here and then down here, I don't see why you don't take a shot at getting this guy in the door. Not necessarily saying that I want to clear house. I would, as a Monday morning quarterback YouTuber who is talking to you from the comfy confines of his house, where my job is not dependent on people calling for my resignation. It's like, I'm not going to say, like, let's fire people and get them, but getting Manny in the door, saying, Manny, look, come be our special liaison to the power hit. I don't know, like, getting him in the door, putting him in spring training, putting him in the vibes of the clubhouse. I think Manny's personality, historically from what I've seen, seems to match very well with the energy that we see from the Padres when they are succeeding and doing very well. So I think he fits, or at least feeds into that nicely. And like I said, we're so low that even if, and we can look at all the free agents that the Padres have this year. Here's the total list of people. Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, and Luis Arraez are the three sort of offensive notables there. Arraez, like I said, though, not a power hitter. And so, okay, I would assume they're going to bring back Laureano, and if he can hit a little bit, these will help buoy the numbers. If we can find a way to get O'Hearn, that will help. But it's not like we're looking here and being like, oh my gosh, 70 home runs are exiting the Padres this year. We need a whole thing. Like, the team is coming back with a Merrill, Manny, and Fernando that I think at their core, the three of them could each be 25 home run plus guys. I think you got a next gap down where you got Xander, Jake Cronenworth, Ramon Laureano, hypothetically, in that. Whoever they're going to get at first base, all those guys, 15 and up. Like, they've got the power to do it. So we should be able to look up and down this lineup and be like 200 plus home runs, and not be looking up and down this lineup and be like, oh my gosh, are we going to have less home runs than the Pittsburgh Pirates of notable non-success this year? It's a mystery, and we're all going to have different fixes on it. And I did a video saying Kyle Schwarber, let's get him. Kyle Schwarber immediately fixes it. We don't even need Manny, or Manny plus Kyle Schwarber could meet 200 home runs out of Schwarber. I don't know. I digress. But in the general thesis of deconstructing where the Padres were last season versus where we want to be, it does seem to me that and pitching can be its own whole video. We had some issues with starting pitching this season, but it does seem to me that the home run numbers really were a red flag. And there might be a solution lurking out there that's not a splashy $45 million signing of a power hitting bat that we could then risk also coming here and going cold. Look, I'll close this with saying I like him. I endorse him. I think that he might teach our outfielders accidentally to double cut. Cool, whatever. I think he makes us a more fun and hopefully more power hitting team. But let me know what you think. Drop a comment below. If there's anything else you want to see a video on, let me know as well. Be here all off season into next year. So hit that subscribe button too if you want. Until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon.